హలో నమస్తే. ముందుగా వనితా టీవీ ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ యానివర్సరీ శుభాకాంక్షలు. 12 సంవత్సరాలు దిగ్విజయంగా పూర్తి చేసుకొని 13వ సంవత్సరంలోకి మీరు మేము అంతా కలిసి మన వనితా టీవీ అడుగు పెట్టబోతోంది. మరి ఈ స్పెషల్ సందర్భాన్ని మరింత స్పెషల్ చేసేందుకు మీకోసం అలాగే మన కోసం మనతో పాటు ఉన్నారు ఇప్పుడు డాటర్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా డాక్టర్ కిరణ్ బేడి గారు. నేటి తరం మహిళల సమస్యల గురించి మనతో చర్చించడానికి అలాగే ఇప్పుడున్న జనరేషన్స్ కి ఆవిడ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ తెలియచేయడానికి మనతో పాటు ఉన్నారు డాక్టర్ కిరణ్ బేడి. సో లెట్స్ వెల్కమ్ హర్. హాయ్ మ్యామ్, we are very happy to have you here. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
So Puducherry, how is coping up with all this pandemic issues and all?
Puducherry, like any other part of the country, I think is struggling.
Yeah. Ma'am, you always believe in life is in an incline, right? So where do you think our country is going after this pandemic? Whether our country, India, is going upwards or going forward, or it's going to, have some backlashes? What do you think?
Well, COVID has flattened the whole world.
Yeah, true.
It has equalized everybody.
True.
But India, despite COVID, is doing better because currently I see very good decisions which are futuristic. They're doing very well. And like for instance, today's Atal Rohang tunnel being opened in Rohtang, I think these are very good steps forward. Every day you have something new coming up.
True.
Which is futuristic.
Yeah.
Very good for future generations. So despite COVID, India has been doing well and it's struggling well. And I believe it's being very well led. It's a decisive leadership, right? I see. Without being political, I'm not being political.
Yes,
I'm just saying we have currently in the current crisis, very clear-headed, visionary, decisive leadership.
Yes, true. Agreed to the point, ma'am. But though these are all the external issues all the whole world is facing, but we do have current rising issues. For example, like the girl child rapes, or we have inner bigger issues. So as a matter of fact, you always believe in power of correction. And you have always done so many good things, and you proved it, like distortion of mind is the root cause of all problems. And what do you think these things are causing? Like girl child rape is the biggest issue which we are facing right now, especially in the marginalized categories.
You're right, it is a lot more in the marginalized categories because I think the way the boys are brought up in these families is not good nurturance.
Correct.
They're just growing, they're born, they're very sought after because these marginalized families are very heavily son dependent.
Yes.
They feel that the son is their future security.
True.
But these sons are, many of these boys, they just grow up more by peer pressure rather than parental nurturance or teacher care.
Right. So as an empowered woman, you always support women and all, but right now women are doing jobs, financially getting independent and everything is fine, but still we have an issue is domesticating women. This may sound a little silly, but this is also a bigger issue which is causing all these things. So a gender inequality, do you think it's still happening and it is still there? And how do we process this domesticating women thing?
I don't think there's a social movement to to make people aware that being parents is a very, very big responsibility.
Correct.
I don't think this is a movement at all. Unless we do that, unless we instill. And number two, we are not focusing on population growth.
Right.
We're not talking about it. So we are just, many of the families are producing children for the sake of having children. But not about building lives.
So what is the main thing like we should be, as a social responsible persons, we should be aware of, and how the government should be taking awareness to the next level? What should they do? And schools and colleges and whatever it is, it starts from mainly from the school system. So what are the points that you should, if you want to include in school systems?
I would like to train them to be good citizens first.
Okay.
Good citizenship brings all responsibilities under one umbrella. So what is a good citizenship? Good citizenship is you don't litter the roads. Good citizenship is you follow the law. Good
Correct.
citizenship is you wear a helmet on your head when you're driving. Good citizenship is that you don't drive when you're drunk.
True.
Good citizenship is that you respect human dignity, which
True.
includes women.
Correct.
I think good citizenship is being cultured in your behavior.
Yeah.
Good citizenship also means not breaking the law even while you are agitating and exercising your democratic rights of agitation. So I think the first lesson which anybody should be learning is how do you become responsible citizens?
Yeah. So coming to the point of responsibility, you've always been very sensitive when it comes to responsibility, though it should be your duty or anything, because you're the first person that, given a parking ticket to a PM's car. So people still talk about that guard. How did this happen? Like sense of responsibility, this generally comes from a childhood or upbringing, or it's just in the nature?
It's from upbringing and nature. It's both, but nature, if your upbringing is difficult, nature can be changed. But it's
Yes.
nurturance, as I said, it's nurturance.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
homes, nurturance. And if you get the school which does a continuity, then you are doubly gifted. But if your home still guards you and continues to nurture you, it still protects you. But if your home nurturance is missing, then school will have an impact or may not have. It depends how deep the teaching is, how impacting and influencing your teachers are.
How was your childhood, ma'am? You were like in school, they used to this stitching, knitting and all, and I heard that you were never been interested in such kind of things, so you used to get punishments. Can you share any of a small memory to us?
No. Value education was 100% at home, 100% in my school, 100% in my college, 100% in my university. So I've had 400%.
Yes, that's true. No, the small, you've been very active in school also, you've been into sports, you've been a national champion of tennis and all. So how has these things helped you to get a greater personality, and how important is sports and everything to a woman to empower herself?
Well, sports is the one which makes you physically and mentally strong.
Correct.
So while books give you knowledge, sports gives you physical and mental strength
Right.
because you practice it. You play, you compete, you work hard,
True.
you follow discipline, you do team building.
Correct.
You learn to win only when you deserve to win. You don't get a trophy from the market and you just get it to be pleased.
Yeah.
You have to earn it. You have to run the race.
Correct.
You have to win the match. So
Right.
nobody can manipulate it. So
Yeah.
if when girls and boys play, and girls also play, and girls play, I learned to win by merit. I learned to earn by merit. I learned the value of merit only when I played and competed. And then I had to prepare. That means I had to prepare. My parents' recommendation will not do. My parents' recommendation said, please make her India #1 will not. I have to play. I have to win.
Yes.
I have to prepare. I have to compete.
Yes.
I have to prove I'm better.
So
No recommendation, no political interference, no money power.
correct.
It's my personal effort which alone will get me win. So that means I learned the lesson that if I want something, I have to make a personal effort and I must deserve it and then earn it. And I will not be gifted. It's not a gift.
Correct. So put your own efforts is your motto. Is it,
Obviously,
ma'am?
this is the law of nature. You get what you deserve.
Even though girls and women are being successful in their own things, but yet when it comes to the family, they may look like son is a bigger thing, son is always in the bigger picture. So these girls and women, a lot of people have this insufficient confidence due to the society, or self-confidence is not there. So how we can address them? And you have a lot of NGOs and all where you are helping marginalized section girls especially. So how do you take this issue, and how do you think we should empower girls? Because you also, as a motivational speaker, you speak a lot and you even wrote some books which are awesome, by the way.
Why should you differentiate between the upbringing of the boys and the girls? Why? They are two unique lives. They
Yes.
both need equal opportunities.
Yes.
They both have the same kind of brain, the heart, the brain. It's same kind of, the needs, human needs of both boys and girls are similar.
Correct.
The only difference between the boy and the girl is that a woman can produce humanity
True.
physically, biologically. There's only one major difference between the men and the women is biological. That's all. After that, the needs are the same. On the contrary, the woman's responsibilities increase when she becomes a mother, because she's now physically produced
Yeah.
a child whom she has to nurture.
Hmm.
That's the only difference.
Correct.
There's no other difference.
What do you think we should change in the statics of India to get that equality?
I think media has a very important role. I think while the books are not depriving, where the change has to come is the kind of time media is spending on who is visiting whom, what happened after that second portion. I think we're not spending any time on the part one of the growth. We're not spending any time. We are only spending all the time on part B, which is also further sensationalized.
Yes. So, ma'am, you are always the strongest person. So, every woman, whenever they see you, they look up to you and they can get inspired. So, even in 1979, there's one instance where there was charges in Delhi and everybody, even the men police were taking back foot. You are the one with just a wooden bat. You went and you fought that. So, what was the strength? Generally in those times it was not, I mean, there are a lot of people, but men dominance is exactly, topped there. But even in that times you were very, very strong and you just been there to fight on what you have believed.
Look, it's all about your training.
Okay.
If you're trained to be confident, and you practice confidence, and you learn to be courageous, then you're ready for any situation.
Right.
But if you're not trained, then how would you do it? This is what training is all about. So only post-school training is not enough. It's your growth. It's the language. You see, that's language. I'm speaking English comfortably. Why? Because I learned English from school time.
Correct.
I kept reading. I
Yes.
speak, I read, I communicate, I'm fluent. I have no problem but I cannot speak Tamil because I never learned.
Yes.
I never learned. Nobody trained me. I also did not learn. How can I? So I will fail. If I would do something, I would not be trained. I'm not educated. I've not learned. I will fail. But if I've learned something, it comes very naturally.
Correct.
The language, it's the same thing in life. You learn something very naturally. I've learned to be confident. I was trained to be confident. I practice acts of confidence. So situation came when I was challenged, that confidence came very naturally. So, but if girls are not trained to be confident when they're growing up, and in school they're all the time held back or they're shy, and suddenly your situation demands now that they need to be expressing confidence, how would they do?
True.
I am only doing what is naturally, which has been a part of my life. And I'm not doing anything different. The only thing is, I'm not unlearning my confidence. I'm not I practice confidence. I prepare every day. When you think right, you read right, you speak right, you are into right environment, and you do the right, you're learning, you're constantly practicing, you are in practice of confidence. I'm taking decisions, I'm preparing myself for this, I'm practicing confidence.
Yes.
And I'm responsible. So I think certain habits are acquired, and then living those habits continue to keep you in practice.
Ma'am, these days every girl is financially independent, they are working, but they have another thing is also called marriage and household responsibilities. So what do you think, like which thing should be the priority, work and be married, or married and get worked if possible?
No, more important is self-reliance. Marriage or no marriage. Self-respect, marriage or no marriage. Self-needs, marriage or no marriage. Very important is what kind of life you want to lead ahead. Do you want to lead a dependent life, or you want to lead a life of self-respect and self-reliance? Do you want to be slave-driven, or do you want to be in command of yourself or own life Do you want to be in a giving position or do you want to be dependent? I think these are choices women have to make all the time.
And Indian women, especially when it comes to marriage, we always, even though a wife and husband is working, but wife is always expected to take the, responsibility of the house, be it be cooking or be it be something else. So there is always a backlash about it, and they might be getting these indifferences between, wife and husband. So what changes can we make to make this sort it out?
I think the kind of partner in life you choose. What kind of impressions did you give? What kind of commitments did you make? What kind of understanding did you arrive at? If you've arrived at an understanding that you will continue to work and that you like to remain economically independent and that you like to go and work from outside home as well, or work for economic growth from inside, if that's a prior understanding, then stick to it. It's your choice. Nobody should tell you what not to do to be economic. It's a choice you make.
Exactly. Ma'am,
and if you want to surrender, to please, then the choice is also yours.
Yeah, it is completely.
You're making these choices.
True. It's completely on one's choice.
Many women, the moment they get married, they go into a joint account.
Exactly.
They go into a joint bank account.
True.
Because they're so much in love that they feel everything's joint.
Yeah.
And then they suffer. Because then they keep asking, can I withdraw? Then he says, no, don't withdraw more than 1,000. She has deposited, let's say 10,000. And she says, can I withdraw? Then he decides, don't withdraw more than 1,000. No, my brother needs or my sister needs some help. No. Why should you help? It's your salary you put into a joint account and now you're dependent. Why? Why don't you keep your own account as well?
Exactly.
You can have a joint account if you want, but you must retain your independence. Why are you surrendering your own independence by going to a joint account? Have a joint account if you want to, but then you also have your own independent account. Who stopped you from keeping an independent account?
True.
And who stops you? Who tells you to take permission? It's your earned money. It's what you want to. You're contributing to home management equally. You're looking after. But what stops you from also supporting your own family you've left behind, who may need you?
True.
Why are you asking for permissions? Because you're scared. Because he may get angry. Yes. Or they may tell you to go out. So you are slave driven now. Even though you have an income of your own, you have now surrendered your independence towards dependence. You were independent, you have chosen to become dependent. Whose fault? And you might say, oh, then I will lose a home. So that means you are imprisoned in a home. You're not a free person.
Correct.
So don't imprison yourself.
So this is.
And you should choose to become a mother when you can, because you cannot just become a mother again. How will you earn? So you must choose. You are the one who can produce the children. You choose not to produce. It's your choice. And if the marriage is not working, who says stay on in the same marriage? You can say bye-bye, thank you. Why can't you?
Correct.
Who stops you? What stops you? You can go and live in a women's hostel. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, you must choose what kind of life you want to lead. You want to be slave-driven, or you want to be self-respecting, or independent, but the choice is in your hands.
Right. But this is a kind of a society we are lived in, we are continuously feed upon like you're a girl. As if we are lacking something.
Look, either you go by what society says or you also make society.
Yes.
By this kind of dependent behavior, you're adding to the dependent quotient in the society. You're adding to it.
Right. But you are an inspiration, Dr. Kiran Bedi, like living on our own choice can take us to somewhere like heights, skies, whatever we want to say. You are the daughter of India, empowering a lot of women. So what is your secret, one secret that always, you've been a national tennis player and then you became the first IPS officer and then there are a lot of adventures in your life. So what is the one point where you never looked back on? And what is that success secret that always backed you up?
Keep refreshing yourself. Keep nourishing yourself. keep thinking for yourself what you want to be and how you want to lead your life. What are your needs? So what kind of life you want to lead? It's very important. Some
Yes.
people would choose to live a life the way they want to. I think we need to know what kind of life I want to lead. Accordingly, move towards that. You may succeed, you may not, but you need to know what kind of life you want to lead. If you want to live an independent life, a self-reliant life, a secure life, a confident life, you will take your journey accordingly. But if you want to lead a dependent life, a secure life, not challenging life, sheltered life, okay, then be happy. Question is, be happy in what you want. Be happy in your choices.
Right.
In the end, if you're not happy, then what are you living?
There's no
Be
point in it.
happy. Make your choice and be happy, or change it.
True. Ma'am, you have always taken
Yeah.
a very strong, like, for example, giving a parking ticket to the PM's car to, the Tihar jail, which is one of the strongest, and you completely changed it. So there are a lot of things which you have done in a male dominated society at that times. So didn't you ever targeted by men, and didn't you ever feel that OMG, oh my god, I'm doing something where I'm going to be targeted by?
I do what is right to do at that moment, and that I'm responsible for it. And for every action, there is a natural reaction.
Correct.
I have only been trying to do, when I wear a uniform, is to do what is my duty to do at that time, what is before me. I may go right, I may go wrong, but I must do with the best of intentions, do what is expected of me, and what I'm trained for, and what am I for? What am I for? I don't need to be told what am I for.
Yes.
I have worn a uniform, there is a law, there is a situation, whoever it be, that is my instruction, apply the law and deal with it correctly. That's all. So whether it's Prime Minister's car or anybody's car, how does it matter? The law is the law, doesn't make any difference.
Yes, true.
And why should I be afraid? That's the law. I've not written the law. Parliament made the law.
Yes.
But if I'm going to be afraid, and I'm not going to say, I choose here, I apply here, but I don't apply there, then I'm not living I'm not applying the law. I'm being subjective.
Still fans of your Aapka Kacheri of Doordarshan. So, is there any future plans of you making such kind of a show? Because Vanitha is also looking and very willing to work with you, and there are a lot of women which you need to empower.
Okay, let me see when I have the time. If I have a book in mind, a serial in mind, I'll connect with you.
Yes, ma'am. You have always been empowering us. You're always been a daughter of India and always encourage. And thank you so much for being such strong and making us believe that all the women can be so strong. Thank you so much for the time, ma'am.
Basically, every woman, every man can be happy, provided they make the right choices and they remain consistent and true to themselves, man or a woman.
Yes, can you please wish us Vanitha TV anniversary?
Oh, I wish you a very happy anniversary, Vanitha Television. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much for the time, ma'am. We are looking forward to have you more often, and thanks a lot. Have a happy life and be strong.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am. సో చూశారు కదా ఈ రోజు స్పెషల్ షో అండ్ స్పెషల్ ఇంటరాక్షన్ విత్ డాక్టర్ కిరణ్ బేడి గారు. మళ్ళీ మరో స్పెషల్ గెస్ట్ తో మరోసారి కలుసుకుందాం. వన్స్ అగైన్ వనితా టీవీ ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ కూడా హ్యాపీ యానివర్సరీ. బాయ్.